Yo, what's going on, guys? Jay here, and today we are finally gonna go over the results of the Talking Hip Hop Awards. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, don't follow me on Instagram over at Talking Hip Hop. Over this past month or so, we have been hosting the Talking Hip Hop Awards, which, just again, to sum up for you guys, pretty much I posted a bunch of different categories on my story with the little question box, on the Instagram story, and you guys nominated whoever you wanted, whatever song, tallied up all the noms, and then I put up some actual, ballots, or we could call them polls, the Instagram polls on the stories for each category. And you guys went through and voted each different one, whatever you wanted for different categories, like 2023 MVP, or where we're going to be starting, Conscious Hip Hop Song of the Year. Those of you guys who don't remember, we do have 26 categories here. And I mean, yeah, I'm just going to be breaking down the results, giving my opinion a little bit. And again, anybody who tuned into this type of content means a lot. Glad to have you, and thank you for participating. I thought it was a lot of fun. We had, over 100 to 200 people voting on each story. I think that's awesome. Even more successful than last year. And yeah, let's get right into it. Starting off with Conscious Hip Hop Song of the Year, we got Quanta by Danny Brown taking the cake. Not too mad about this, Now, I will say, literally beat Scientists and Engineers by Killer Mike by legitimately one vote, so it was a close race, which is cool to see, but shout out Danny on that. Moving on to Conscious Hip Hop Album, we got some good nominees here, with Quanta by Danny Brown again taking the cake again in a pretty dominant poll, getting over half the votes. Michael by Killer Mike also got a good bit of votes. Some people were telling me in the comments that Michael shouldn't have been in the conscious hip hop category, but also some people were saying that it shouldn't have been in the boom bap category either. And again, this is one of those things where me personally, I kind of just let you, I let you guys throw your votes in wherever. I feel like Michael fit into both categories, but I think next year there will be different categories, at least as you'll see later. Or as I'll bring up later, I feel like the boom bap categories did not necessarily encapsulate what I meant for them to encapsulate. But yeah, I mean, another big win for Danny Brown, which is cool to see. The Patience by Mick Jenkins only getting 4% of the votes is kind of disappointing, to be honest. That's been a really, really big sleeper album for me this year. Really great, to be honest. If you haven't heard it, definitely tap in. But moving on to Conscious Hip Hop Artist of the Year. Black Thought takes it, not necessarily in a sweep, but it really came down to him and Killer Mike. Very cool to see Thought get the win. Had an amazing album with Glorious Game this year, as well as the track he put out, Love Letter, which is essentially him rapping and breaking down the history of hip-hop in its 50th year of existence, which, again, a super dope technical feat. And I couldn't agree more that he deserves it. It's crazy the work and the quality that Thought could put out over 30 years into the game at this point. Talking about R&B Song of the Year, Suspended by Sampha takes it. Fair category, shout out Sampha. I know him and Lahai have been getting a shit ton of praise this year, and I'm not to say that it's undeserved. I think it is very well deserved. A fucking incredible album. But I would have preferred to see Daniel Caesar take it here with Always or Let Me Go. Makes me think maybe the way the voting turned out, seeing where Daniel Caesar collectively got 48%. Maybe going forward, let me know in the comments, maybe next year, should it be just one song per artist per category? You'll see this with Travis Scott as well, too, where pretty much every category has multiple Travis Scott songs. So let me know in the comments if you think that it's cool to see artists getting opportunities to have multiple songs, or if you think it takes away from the general crop of artists or whatever. But let me know what you prefer, what you think is better, so I know for next time. But yeah, shout out Sampha, who also takes R&B Album of the Year with Lahai, getting half the votes. Shout out to Since I Have a Lover by 6 Lack, which did not make it onto the ballot, and honestly, it wouldn't have made it on mine either, but I also thought it was another really great R&B record this year. Red Moon and Venus by Kaliushi, so I'm surprised to see it, again, get such a low amount of votes. And Lahai, like I said, sweeping with half the votes here. Personally, I probably would have voted for Daniel Caesar, not gonna lie, but again, I'm not mad at all. Lahai definitely deserving. And Sampha, again, with half the votes here. I know Sampha is very loved and respected artist in the game. Shout out Sanfa for sweeping all the R&B categories. I really thought at least Daniel Caesar would get in there with one. All right, and at Boom Bap Song of the Year, here is the issue that is going on, right? Because we got a pretty big win for Kitchen Lights, and I don't think there's anyone that's going to deny Kitchen Lights its flowers, its respect to being one of the greatest songs of the year, right? The issue with having Kitchen Lights win Song of the Year is that it has a drumless instrumental. Upon like actually realizing that, and I decided to still put it on the poll after realizing that, and because it was the most voted for song in this category, so I was like, fuck it, like if everyone else is cool with it, I'll let it slide. But it does make me think for next year, maybe instead of having it be boom bap, because all right, here's where I was at. I wanted to do, encapsulate the non-conscious, like, boom bap rap, the not Black Thought and stuff, the more gangster rap, but I also didn't want to say gangster rap, because then I didn't want, then where does Nas fit into this? And I mean, I guess you could argue onto the conscious side, but it's one of those things where, again, let me know how you think I should split it up in the most understandable or digestible way. Obviously, with hip-hop subgenres, it's kind of hard to pick and choose and box an artist into one certain subgenre or category. I mean, obviously, with people like Black Thought, Nas, West Side Gun, you really can't do that. They play into a lot of different type of bags. So in the future, these categories would be restructured. I just don't know how so yet. But yeah, Kitchen Lights with the win. Should, on a technicality, should have Mama's Primetime got it? Yeah, maybe. But West Side Gun takes it regardless. He also takes Boom Bap Album of the Year, which... Again, to which some people replied in my comments, oh, well, there's a lot of trap production, and to which I said, it's a lot of boom bap production as well, too, so, like, again, it could have really went either way. I think it has definitely more boom bap production, not to mention just qualities of it in terms of the rapping and content matter. But yeah, I was surprised to see this overwhelmingly win so much, considering how much people online hate this album, or have been giving it shit, at least where in my visibility spectrum, right? All the accounts I follow were giving this album some shit, saying it wasn't all that. On YouTube, different people like Fantano or NFR were not giving this album quite the same praise that I had, and a lot of people were not necessarily not liking it, but they were giving it shit. It wasn't resonating it with them. I've been a defender of this album since day one. It makes me happy to see it win album of the year in this category, but I was surprised. I was surprised with how much love it got at this time, considering how much disdain and disappointment it was met with when it came out. Boom Bap Artist of the Year again goes to West Side Gun, which makes me think, was there really just that big of a change of heart with the album, or you guys who voted, are you just more of West Side Gun fans than other people I've been seeing online, or do you jack this album more than other people have been online? Let me know if with And Then You Pray For Me, you had a change of heart and it grew on you over time, or if you always fucked with it. And shout out to Nas, who was very close to winning that. I think it would have been cool to see him take home the dub, but I can't complain about a West Side Gun win either. Talking about Trap Song of the Year now, we got a win for My Eyes by Travis Scott. Fiend coming in second, which, hey, I would have loved to see Fiend win. But My Eyes was, again, another one where I grappled with, where I was like, all right, do I want to put this in the trap song category? Because the first half isn't super trappy. It's a lot more sing-song. You know what I mean? It's hard to box a lot of stuff into one single category, and again, maybe that was the wrong way to go about it, but again, all you guys put My Eyes in for the nomination, so I was assuming if all these people are acknowledging it as a trap song, then I will as well, and it takes the W here, no doubt. Trap album, though, I did not put Utopia here. Utopia got a lot of love here. I did not put Utopia. I do not think it's a trap album. Again, kind of like with the West Side Gun album, there's a good bit of trap production on there, but in terms of like the content of the album as a whole, and as well as just because the production is not consistently trap. You get your cuss on there like I Know and Fiend, but Hyena has an industrial boom bap instrumental. You get a lot of, I don't know if I want to use the term industrial hip-hop instrumentals, but talking about some more Yeezus-inspired stuff, using the drum patterns from certain songs on there, and then tracks like Del Restro or K-pop, which are just straight up not trap songs. Also, it would have obviously overwhelmingly won if it was in here, and I just didn't want to put it here because it's not a trap album. But Business is Business getting the W made me happy for sure. I feel like this album has been pretty slept on online. I feel like I have not seen a lot of people praising this as the trap album of the year, like it fucking is. Shout out Thug coming through and dropping a fire album from behind bars. I don't want to say one of his best, but it's certainly up there. I don't think this is like he recorded in jail type shit. It doesn't seem like it for the most part, but I mean, yeah, this was a very, very good collection of songs from Thug, and a shout out to Offset, who was close, and Glaucoma 2 and Gumbo by Key Glock and Young Nudie, respectively. Again, are two of the more slept on trap albums of the year in a year like 2023, where trap was definitely like dominant and did its thing, but we didn't see a lot of super major trap releases that were successful and quality. It was normally one or the other, where you would have an album like A Gift and a Curse do amazingly, but like it was I know some people, I know Complex had that as their album of the year. I mean, you try ripping for that one, dog. That's a terrible take, but yeah, mid-ass album. Shout out Thug. Trap Artist of the Year. Shout out Thug again. I did not want to put Travis here just because, like, honestly, just because he would have overwhelmingly won it, and he already, at the time, I expected he was going to overwhelmingly win 2023 MVP. Not to spoil it, I just did, but not to spoil it, he does win. Obviously, I feel like that was kind of apparent. It's kind of hard to put 2023 MVP on anyone but him. But, I mean, yeah, shout out Thugger. Let him get his flowers. Nice to see people like Offset and Key Glock get some respect, too. And, again, not just have it be 100% of the votes going to Travis. In a year where he didn't drop a trap album. Worst bar of the year. It made me happy to see that you guys voted Kanye on this one. Again, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I'm hypercritical of Kanye. I'm on his ass because he's a bad person promoting hate speech among other bad things. And, you know, it's very clear. You've seen the clips from his Vultures fucking listening parties. He is still on the same shit. Kanye West literally views himself as a god, and that is kind of sick and demented. His ego is way too big for his fucking britches, and I mean, yeah, Kanye is pretty much a piece of shit in my mind, and it's made me happy to see people holding him accountable for that with these votes, because, like, yeah, all right, Drake with Feel Like I'm Bi Because You One of the Guys, girl, like... I don't even know what to say about that one, but like, yeah, you know what I mean? It might be like actually worse technical bars than I'm not anti-Semitic, you know. You could read it. I don't necessarily want to say that one right now. Yeah, that's a bad bar. That's a very bad bar. Kanye is anti-Semitic. He said he's not, but then again, goes on talking about Hitler at his fucking listening parties where his fucking daughter North is present. I mean, yeah, quick sidebar, Kanye West, bad person, Vultures is going to suck. Please stop meat riding him. He's not an idol. He is not a person to look up. He is a pretty sick man who needs some help. Album cover of the year is the only category we had a tie in, which kind of surprised me. Set It Off and Then You Pray For Me by Offset and Westside Gunn, respectively, tied with 36 votes. If you want to vote in the comments to break the tie, I mean, I think Set It Off is the better album cover, keeping it a buck. I was kind of surprised to see And Then You Pray For Me get this many votes. Not to say that it's not a dope album cover, but I didn't think it was anything super fucking, like, I don't want to say, it was obviously super creative, but it wasn't super intense or, like, detailed, I should say, where Set It Off was a very descript, very colorful album cover. But yeah, shout out Sed, shout out Westside. Sample flip of the year. I was really surprised to see Tyler get this one as much as he did for Sorry Not Sorry. As much as I absolutely love the sample flip, to be completely honest. Yeah, I definitely would have had DJ Benoit with Kitchen Lights for this one, but yeah, Sorry Not Sorry, another great sample. Shout out to Hit Boy as well, Jodeci member. Honestly, thinking about it now, I would have voted that over Kitchen Lights. I mean, if you haven't heard Jodeci member by Nas, incredible song. It's my favorite song on Magic 3. Also, shout out to 40 and Harley Arsenal for the Novocaine Frank Ocean sample flip on Virginia Beach by Drake. I was very much expecting to see that one here. Another great sample flip this year. Moving on to best collaboration. this one I will say, in the voting, in the nominations, I should have specified, because there were a lot of people who just put Scaring the Hose, like just the album, in. So I just counted Perfect because that was the individual song that people put the most. But a lot of people just put that. And same with like Drake and J. Cole. Some people just put Drake and J. Cole because they had also had Evil Ways this year. And I mean, yeah, I think First Person Shooter definitely works. Shout out to Drake and Travis on Meltdown as well. That was, I think that would have been it if First Person Shooter didn't come out. I think First Person Shooter kind of stole a lot of the swag from that moment. And also shout out to Travis Scott and Westside Gunn. Just an unexpected collab that I think was awesome. All right, now we're looking at Melodic Song of the Year. This is another one where, again, in hindsight, maybe when I put up the questions, I should have specified melodic rap song, because Slime You Out is more of an R&B cut. Let's keep it a buck. But, I mean, yeah, I thought that was a super great track. It only got 5% of the votes anyway, so who cares? And it really came down to Telekinesis and I Know, both by Travis Scott, which will become a theme going forward. I think either of these works. I think, like, the better melodic performance overall is SZA and Future on Telekinesis, but also I Know, like, on the chorus when Travis Scott's really singing that shit, that is peak. Best feature of the year, SZA appears again with Telekinesis. THHA Touchdown got a good amount of votes with his feature on Modern Jam. And I was surprised to see that album get all the, not the album, I was surprised to see the THHA Modern Jam feature get all the praise it did, because it is a great feature, but it's very short, and like content-wise, it adds almost nothing to the track. Vocally and like aesthetically, it does a lot, and THHA's singing is very, very cool. They're very performative, very great, honestly. But, I mean, yeah, it doesn't do a whole bunch for me outside of just adding runtime to Modern Jam, to be honest. I don't think it does much other than that. And not that that's a bad thing, but it's not a super deep, super important feature, in my opinion. And, I mean, yeah, J. Cole on First Person Shooter, pretty predictable get here. Underground Artist of the Year. First of all, shout the fuck out to Billy Woods. This is the biggest margin that anyone else has won by today. That is the number to beat. Hey, also 69 votes. Nice. But yeah, Billy Woods had Maps this year. I will say, I think Maps is better than Aethiopes and Church, but also he had Aethiopes and Church come out in the same year. But I mean, yeah, this was another one where some people were confused, because I also have the Rookie of the Year category. I just wanted to specify, because some rappers are underground artists like for years. Like, think about Blue. Like Below the Heavens Blue and Exile Blue. He is like a perennial underground artist. He's yet to really break through to the mainstream, but that's just the lane he operates in. But he also wouldn't fit into a Rookie of the Year category, because he's been in the game over 15 years. But yeah, Billy Woods is someone who has consistently been in the underground scene, been slept on, not had much mainstream attention, but has also broken through and built a very strong fan base of like dedicated hip-hop listeners. And he is someone who maybe never will see the mainstream glitz and glory, maybe never have a headlining arena selling out tour, maybe never have a Billboard Hot 100 hit, but he is one of the most talented and respected artists in the game by people who know him. So good to see him get his flowers here. And shout out to Ja King the Divine and Lord Sco. I would have given my vote to Ja King here. Two excellent rappers who are on the rise, who could have fit into the Rookie of the Year category as well. I think they were in it last year. I'm almost positive, but again, they're still, on the way, on the come up, and I hope that they cross over to the mainstream. Some of the best acts in hip-hop right now. Shout out McKinley Dixon as well, who I listened to his album that came out this year. I think it's called Beloved Jazz Paradise. Yeah, I tapped into that album this year. It was getting a lot of hype online from the Instagram hip-hop community. And I think it's pretty fucking great. I haven't given it enough listens to really it's not going to be on my top 1 or my top 50 albums of the year list. And not because it's not one of the best, just because I haven't sat with it like that. I only checked this out just recently. But yeah, shout out to those four putting in some great work. Feature Artist of the Year, pretty handily J. Cole, right? No one's surprised here. I feel like you got the common culprits for this there as well. Jid had a couple amazing features this year. SZA did too. 21 Savage had some great features, nothing too over the top. He was great on Peaches and Eggplants, did his thing until further notice. Neither of those, again, are like super show-stealing, incredible verses from 21 to me, but they're fire. J. Cole, kind of obviously here. And I will say real quick, he did get more votes than Billy in this category, but he did not get more percentage. More people voted for the feature artist of the year category. But I mean, yeah, overwhelming win for J. Cole. Now, producer of the year, this one, I'm not going to lie, this one made me a little bit, I mean, I don't want to say upset, but Metro Boomin was the producer of the year in 2022. There's no doubt about that. He had heroes and villains. He was doing work everywhere. And not to discredit the Spider-Verse, the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse soundtrack. Very solid, very fun. But how are we going to compare that to the fucking 2023 The Alchemist has had? Just looking at the albums he's been a part of. First of all, he produced a Drake song, which is like a huge deal for him, low-key. Like, him producing Wickman and also Conductor Williams being in there is crazy. But now, you have to, he dropped his own EP this year. Low-key, the name is escaping me, but Vertigo with Action Bronson's on there. The Alchemist started rapping on the beat this year on tracks like Slipping Into Darkness with Hit Boy, or like, I think 60 Days on the Larry June album. And then just looking at, he was a part of 3 major albums this year. In Voir Dire, I had the Earl Sweatshirt album, gave him an incredible soundscape. Also, The Great Escape with Larry June, like I said, borderline top 10 album this year that he was a part of, incredible soundscape. Also, Faith is a Rock with Mike and Wiki. Very, very great album. And how are you going to deny that? How are you going to give Metro over that? Not to mention Conductor Williams, too, doing incredible work with Rome Streets, with West Side Gun, with fucking Drake on 8 a.m. in Charlotte. Definitely also could have gotten it over Metro and Benny X. And this is not to discredit Metro. I think this is just proof, that some people just vote for the biggest name they see or their favorite name that they see. But hold on. I want to bring up some tracks that Benny X produced this year because, I mean, Benny X really had a year in terms of for a producer, was really on the come up. And I mean, yeah, all right. A lot of it is fucking big ass shit. We're looking at Slime You Out, Meltdown, I Don't Give a Fuck with Yeet, K-Pop, Rich Baby Daddy, Search and Rescue, Talk by Yeet, Sirens, Fear of Heights, 7969 Santa. He was huge on For All the Dogs. A by Lil Uzi Vert, Bigger Than Everything by Yeet, None I'd Change, Myself, Blessings by Nicki, Heaven on Earth by Lil THHA, and there's other songs here that I'm skipping over because I don't have to say all of these. There's a lot of Yeet too. I Thought That I Needed You by The Kid Laroi. I never listened to that track. The Kid Laroi sucks, but I mean, another pretty big placement. Anything else? Hold Me on the Quavo album, was on the THHA Touchdown album, was on the Pink Panthers album, Used by Lil THHA, Rocket Power, and Who Whipped Me by Quavo, Porsche's Topless by Kid Cudi. I mean, Benny X was everywhere this year. Worked with Coach Ice, Coi Leray, Lancey Fu, BLP Kosher. I mean, from artists who have had a crazy year in terms of blowing up to the literal biggest rappers in the game like Drake and Travis Scott. Benny X was everywhere this year and is one of the most innovative trap producers out right now. And again, this is no shade to Metro. It's not supposed to be, at least, but yeah, he would not have gotten my vote. This one annoys me too, I'm not going to lie. Lyricist of the year. In a year where J. Cole didn't even have an album. Now, J. Cole will always get put in this conversation because of his incredible features. And again, J. Cole had several credible features this year. You'll see in my top 25 features of the year list, he has multiple top 10. But yeah, I wouldn't have voted for him with no album. Nas definitely a contender here. Black Thought, Killer Mike, all good options. Jaking the Divine could have been up. Javi Darko could have been up here. We're talking about Chico with Samson. Definitely could have been up here. Rome Streets could have been up here. But yeah, I mean, shout out Cole. He just didn't have an album out this year. This one I hate too. Rookie of the Year. Overwhelming THHA Touchdown win. And I was really hoping Jordan Ward would win. I know he's got a lot of buzz in the community right now, although I don't really think he's quite a hip-hop artist. Neither is THHA. They're both very clearly creative and kind of operating in their own different lanes. And guys, I'm going to keep it a buck. I'll do this rant quickly, but I think THHA kind of sucks. A big fan of some of his features, a big fan of some of his tracks prior to How Do You Sleep at Night coming out. But then when How Do You Sleep at Night came out, it became very apparent to me that sonically, again, his mind is open. He tries to be creative, but I think he just tries to see how far he could push the sonic limits of logicality, just throwing together anything and everything. You get influences on that album from industrial hip-hop to pop music, and not that there's wrong with pulling from all these different genres, but it's the fact that most of the time they don't blend well together or sound good at all. I think he dropped one of the worst albums of the year. Yeah, I think he's the most overrated artist in the game right now, or one of them. Not to mention his songwriting is trash. Like, genuinely, he writes songs when you listen to them literally just about, like, whatever he's thinking about. The simplest thought he has, he turns into a song, even if it's about the time. And, like, maybe some people think that's cool or novel, but to me it's just stupid because the songs don't come out good anyways. On the more emotional cuts on that album, the songwriting, it seems like it's meant to resonate with a sixth grader who just, like, got denied by their crush for the first time. And yeah, it's really not that deep. It's really surface level, really elementary writing, and really mix-matchy production type shit where a lot of stuff just doesn't work together or sound right. And I just saw THHA open up for Travis Scott the other night. His performance was kind of buns, I'm not going to lie to. He did a better job when he opened up for Tyler. I said Jordan Ward should win. My vote would have went for Sexy Red. If you guys pay attention to what I post, you know I'm a fan of Sexy Red. I just dropped my review for her album. Check that out. And I mean, yeah, not that I think she's, like, super fucking amazing or anything either, but she's got bangers. And her album was better than THHA's. Jordan Ward's was better than both, but I don't like him as much. He's not as fun. Song of the year, we got My Eyes, overwhelming win. Not very surprising here. Not surprised to see Kitchen Lights, Telekinesis, and Perfect get the nom either. I feel like these are all consensus some of the best songs this year. I feel like most people are not going to debate on these picks. It's fair. My Eyes deserves the win. I might have voted it too, might have not. Who knows? Album of the year, of course, Utopia, 60% of the votes with 70 votes. Scaring the Hose was the second closest. That doesn't surprise me. I feel like those are everyone's kind of consensus top two. And let's just keep it a buck. I'll talk about this probably a little bit in my album of the year list. Utopia is better than Scaring the Hose. That's really all I have to say with that. Scaring the Hose is, like, great and sick, but, like, yeah, there's that. Let's Start Here by Lil Yachty. You guys are fools for voting this one in. I love Let's Start Here. It's a great album, but it's not anything better. It's barely going to crack my top 50. All right, that was a little harsh. It'll be maybe in the 40 to 30 range, but still, that's besides the point. It should not be up here. Yachty did not reinvent the wheel. He just put his hand into an already existing soundscape. Still a great album regardless. And 2023 MVP, Travis Scott, again, won it overwhelmingly. The only other person I think you can make a case here for is Danny Brown with Scaring the Hose and the DLC pack for it, which had Hermanos, amazing, incredible song, and Quaranta, which won some awards here. And yeah, either way, I'm fine with either winning. Travis Scott makes more sense because he had the mainstream mega successful year. This was kind of his coming out. Like, Astroworld was like Travis is coming out as a megastar party, but then this album, Utopia, was Travis Scott coming out as an even bigger megastar, global, headlining, whatever words you could use that are bigger than megastar to describe Travis. He came out as that this year. Again, you guys are real funny for putting Lil Yachty in here. Definitely, again, one of the most undeservedly glazed rappers this year. I don't want to turn this into a Yachty hate train before I end the video, but yeah, briefly, he should have never been in this conversation. I think it's sick how he could try his hand into different pockets. Psychedelic rock, rage trap, some of that Detroit Flint type rap with the one-liners, all in the span of a couple of years, and also hop on a track like The Recipe with J. Cole. Even though he's not the best on there, he still did it. And yeah, the creative endeavors that Yachty has taken this year, I have to pay respects to, but the actual quality of the content of the result is not up to par with people like Travis, people like Nas, people like Danny. And I could see the case for some people if you're a big Yachty fan. He put out a lot of music, also a good variety of music this year. So again, I'm not too mad about it, but to act like his quality output is on the same level as these guys is kind of a joke. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Shout out to all the rappers who were nominated, all the artists, Travis, Danny Brown, all these guys who won. Your trophies are in the mail. The talkies are on the way. But yeah, other than that, I'll see you guys next time. I, again, very much appreciate everyone who participated, everyone who's been tuned in to the Talking Hip Hop Awards. It's been a fun ride. It's probably been a little OD, too, in terms of my posting. Completely took over the algorithm. Not the algorithm, but my feed for, a week or two. I hope that wasn't too OD, but yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I hope you guys did too. Again, thank you for participating. Any comments, suggestions, thoughts you have, leave in the comments. That's what they're there for. And anything you could do to get my engagement up means the world. I appreciate it. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.